What you heard was nothing but the vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Feels like only yesterday that we were together. When you say goodbye, I know you mean forever.
I'm so glad for you. Tell me what to do. We're so far apart. It's breaking my heart. Feels like only yesterday that we were together. When you say goodbye, I know you mean forever. I'm so glad for you. Tell me what to do. We're so far apart. It's breaking my heart.
Look, man, I ain't been on the camera in such a long time. God, I'm just so happy to be back. They invited me here on the Vibes. They told me that somebody wanted to see me today. So, yo, this is the Vibes, y'all. This is the VNO Vibes. This is not my show, but it's on the VNO network. So we about to do it big today. Without further ado, let me introduce Miss VNO Vibes, one of Miss half of the Miss and Miss VNO Vibes. Yo. Oh, I got you. There you go.
Okay.
What's up?
Hello. Hey. Hey.
Thank you for having me. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me here on y'all's show.
Yes.
The
Oh, it's
VNO
our
Vibes.
show now.
Yeah, the VNO Vibes y'all show now.
The
It's y'all
VNO
show
show
now. Yeah,
is
the VNO
definitely
show.
a vibe, and you
Yeah.
are always welcome.
Thank you.
Hey.
Well, not always, but I understand. I understand. Sometimes, you know, it's y'all show. I like to say, you know, for everybody that's wondering, that's watching, what we're creating here, and I say we because it's all of us. We all putting in on it. We're all doing something. What you're watching is you watching the evolution of something that's about to be something big.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's about to be something big. We're creating a network. My show is not going anywhere. The V&O, Ordinary People with Extraordinary Stories. V&O, what you know, it's still here.
It's
You
still
know?
around.
Yeah, it's still here. It's still here. We just had to get these vibes going, right? Man. Angela.
Go ahead and say it, Ron. What's on your mind? What's on your heart, honey?
I said I wasn't gonna say nothing.
It's okay. It's been a minute. Y'all miss seeing Ron.
Right?
Let us know. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us
Right.
know if y'all miss your boy Ron, the originator, the dream. This is your dream, Ron. We definitely want to give you your flowers now.
Thank you.
You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? Because this was your dream, and here
Thank
we
you.
are with the Vibe Show.
Yeah, we with the
still have
Vibe
your
Show. I'm so proud of you. Like every week, especially y'all, my heart, Ava.
Yes.
Ava is sick. We talked to her. Oh my gosh, she sounds so sick.
Baby girl is sick.
Yeah, she's sick,
Yeah.
y'all. So that's why I'm here. I'm not gonna be a regular on the VNO Vibes. This is absolutely their show, and they have been doing a phenomenal job. And I wanted to give a shout out to you, Angela, because you really doing your thing. Like, I mean, every week, just like I remember like my first episode, like my stuff looked horrible. You know what I mean? And every week it's like y'all just get better. You know what I'm saying? Every week something, you know, it looks better. You get more comfortable.
I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
I think getting in front of people, sharing, your innermost thoughts, it's not easy. Like, I'm gonna put that out there. It's not easy in the beginning, but I keep telling myself, you're gonna get better. Like this, you have to start somewhere, and this is the beginning. So, I'm like, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm fired up. Like, and then the comments that we get from the audience is just so much love.
It is. I don't know if you noticed, but I opened up the floodgates. So I dropped the link on Facebook. You know, I want to go on YouTube and do it. You know, if we're getting these views on YouTube, I want these views on YouTube. And I invited people, hit that link if you want to come on and talk about something. I invite because it's the vibe. So I invited them. So maybe somebody might come through. You know, they might have a topic. But right now we just vibing. And me and you, we kind of talked and we had some things that we wanted to talk about, but we had to get that out the way that, you know, you just evolving, and this is going to be a thing. This is a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
The
Yeah.
dream is, you know, it's here. We live in it. We're on this journey, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad. I'm so thankful, like, you know, to be a part of it, And I think it's going to ruffle feathers. We're not going to be, you know, what we say may not always be liked or welcomed. We know we have an audience and we're trying to, you know, tap into that. But basically what our show is mainly going to be about is empowerment, right? Empowerment to men, women, mainly women, because, right, we are women. But, you know, we're just here to just empower the human race. I'm gonna say it like that. But more so people that look like me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about the unfairness, you know, as a society, you know, the way that the system is set up, it's not made for everyone to win, you know. And so with that being said, there has to be a winner, there has to be a loser, you know, the way that things are set up now. Will that last forever? You know, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. I hope they're not.
Yeah. So we just, you know, so in that, since we're not there yet, you know, I feel like my and Ava's job is to just empower, just to help us get to that next stage.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just appreciate, you know, this platform being able to do that. So our topics of discussion is going to be, you know, a little racy at times because that's what's going on in the world today. Things are absolutely crazy. I am not going to lie. Like it's just been a series, and it almost made me like want to tap out of give Instagram just a fallback because of such a it's just a lot, you know. I have a cousin that lives in Chicago and she's young, 29, beautiful girl. She got robbed.
Are you serious?
At gunpoint.
What?
Robbed at gunpoint Saturday night.
Angela, shut up. This what, yesterday?
I'm sorry, Friday night.
So 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Oh my God.
Woke up Saturday morning to the news of her getting robbed.
But she was okay.
What the tripped out part is they stole her car. She had only had the car for 7 days. A Benz truck. And so you know that's a hot commodity.
Yeah.
You know, at first they were getting Jeep Cherokees.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, like that was like the thing they were stealing.
And Kias too. They had Kias.
And then Kias was the next trend because it was some type of TikTok that showed you how to get into a Kia without the key. So then that car was being taken. But yeah, her experience, it just really shook the whole family.
Yeah.
And you know, I have girls, you know, and you know, I want them to experience the world, but I want them to be smart about it.
Yeah.
So she had mentioned that they had watched her. It was a setup. Like it was literally a setup.
No doubt.
Granted, she was out late, 3-something in the morning.
Yeah, but you got to do that. It's America.
She's 20, 3:30 in the morning. I mean, I wouldn't be out that late by myself personally. But you know what I'm saying? She's young, you know, she doesn't have any children. So so she was getting out her car, before I get to that part. So she had parked, she parks on the street. She doesn't live in a place where she has a garage, but the security guard out of nowhere was just like, you can't park your car right here. You need to move. And with her, she was half asleep, half drunk. She wasn't paying attention. So she moved her car and she moved it into a spot where like they had pretty much set her up for her to move in that spot, right? And then when she moved into that spot,
so the security, you think security guard has something
the
to do
security
with it?
was because she doesn't have security at her building. It was
Right.
just a random security guard.
Just the cat dressed up as security.
Yep.
People wild out here,
Yep.
boy.
That's what I'm like the whole the story is just like, you know, so not only do you lose your car after only having it for 7 days, you know, they take your car, but it was a setup.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they was
Right.
and then she looked at the video camera on like the buildings that were around. She was able to look on people's like Ring cameras and stuff like that, and she saw that they had circled the block a couple of times waiting for her to get out.
This is an intricate setup.
And
Like
very,
somebody
very
took time to this was premeditated.
premeditated.
Oh my goodness. Somebody took time to dress up as security. Wow.
Yes, Chicago, Illinois. Yes.
So what happened? So
she thought it was a joke. So they came up to her and they were like, you know, give me your keys. And so she was like, I'm gonna give you everything. Do you want my purse? Do you want my keys? You know, do you want? And I guess she was moving too slow because she said I was half tired. And then I thought that they were joking because she said they were so young. They were only like 17 to 20 years old.
yeah.
And it was almost like it was an initiation of some type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like they were, I mean, I don't know what a professional, you know what I'm saying, carjacker looks like or what, you know, how that comes across. But she was just like, they were so young. The guy was older, but it was just, after seeing the video footage, she was like, they set me up. Like they watched for me to
Right.
get out.
Right.
To steal my car. And because
Oh, my goodness.
she so she had it was a 2019 Benz truck, and she was able to call them, and so they cut it off. Because I was like, well, what did they do with your car? Like, did they strip it? Did they take stuff? She was like, no, my car is perfectly fine. She said I was able to call Benz and they cut the car off, so they didn't take it. And it was just like, well, what were they gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? Like that whole factor.
Drive it, flex. Flex,
Yeah,
check this out. Check this out. So while you telling this story, it just brought it back to my memory that my guy they took his car from in front of his house. Thank God.
She was in front of her house.
Yeah, she was in front of her house.
Yes.
So they took his from in front of his house, but thank God it was his wife's car. But she wasn't in the car. So they were asleep. It was early in the morning, late at night. I mean, actually, no. I think he was at work. So it was like in the morning. You're talking about daytime. They took his car. So you were the reason that I'm speaking on this is because you said, well, what were they gonna do with it? So I'm talking to him the other day, and he was like, man, I said, what's wrong, bro? He said, I got another red light ticket. I was like, well, quit running red lights then. He was like, nah, man. He said, this is from the car that got jacked. I was like, he got a whole new car now. He upgraded. They got the insurance money. They got an upgrade. And he said, no, this is from the car that got. I said, hold on, G.
Oh my
He was like, bro, this is like my 5th one. So they just out there driving.
Just joyriding.
Just joyride. They're driving. And I guess what got me is that, man, if I get a red light ticket, they've been suspending my license, everything. How are these cats just able to like just be out here just driving? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Driving.
This is what it is like in 2022.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is the world like we live in. You know, I go to Chicago every day, right? Because I work in Chicago, but it's got me like, you know, even though I'm working, you know, I'm not going to hang out. You know, I would dare be by myself at 3:30 in the morning. You know, there's just certain things that I just will not do.
Right.
Knowing what type of enviorment. And then I live in Indiana, so we barely lock our doors.
Yeah.
You know,
some of us do.
Yeah.
You live in a nicer area. So if y'all seen my show, you know my story.
What happened to you?
I mean, the whole thing that just changed me and created what you see before you. My house got shot at. And I mean, I don't live in in a bad neighborhood, but it just,
Yeah.
you know, it did something to me on the inside.
Okay.
You know, and but that's, you know, that's my story. But you're right. But for the most part in Indiana, you just feel a little bit, I guess, safer, even though I think it's a false, just a little bit. So
It's a
it might
false
be a
sense of
false sense of
security,
security
for
because things
sure.
happen anywhere.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
someone responded, did they catch them? No.
yeah.
No. They have
No.
not been
No.
caught. No.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. She had money in the car, which, you know, granted, she's 29. She's traveled all over the world, but you know, at some point you have to wake up. You know, you just got to wake up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a target. They have human trafficking out here.
Yes.
I just need to wake up and be aware. And so what I proposed, and I come from a large family. My grandmother had 13 children. So I have 30 first cousins. And yeah, I come from a big family. Very fertile. Very fertile. And everyone has had children. So yes. But you know, we look after each other, you know. We just look after each other. And so I'm like, we need to do a self-defense class, and we need to do a gun range. You know, we need to, you know, educate ourselves on how to properly use a firearm. We all need, you know, some live in Illinois, some live in Indiana, but we need to get the documents, the things that we need in order to protect ourselves.
You got a gun now? Do you have a gun? Do you own one? You do? Okay. Hey, you know, the reason I say that, we live in Indiana. It's open carry.
Right. I'm like,
ain't no secrets in Indiana.
I want to get to the point where I have rifles, you know, as decoration.
You the Patriot. Yeah. You
know.
You ever seen the movie The Patriot where you hear guns in certain spots? You just run over here, grab it, bow. You know?
No, I have a spot waiting for it. Like, I'm gonna put, like, it's gonna be a decoration. It's gonna be 2 rifles. Like, you gonna know when you come in this house.
Come in here.
What could happen?
Right.
What could happen? Try me if you want to.
Right. You see that sign I see people got posted outside of their house. They said, we don't dial 911, we dial 357. You don't want to come in here.
I need that sign. I need a big one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, nobody you don't want to take nobody's life. I know you. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the last resort. But just know that if you come knocking on this door, there's gonna be trouble. Trouble.
Yeah. It's, you know, she said she had mace. You know, I want to go back to the story and kind of
conclude it. Yeah, go ahead.
She had mace, but she was just like, what is mace gonna do up against a gun? But make them mad and make them shoot me. You know, so it was like, we need to get protected, you know, and then and not just get protected, but learn how to, you know, use this, you know, tool to protect ourselves.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I always got a story. So gas prices was outrageous this past summer.
Yes.
So I was, you know, I made the trek back to public transportation. You know, if you live in the NWI area, you know, we got the South Shore train electric line.
Yes.
And so, you know, every now and again for years ago, I used to jump on the South Shore, take it to Chicago, and then once you get in Chicago, it's open. You can take the L, you can take a bus, you can take a cab. Now what they didn't have when I first started in the trades, they got, you know, you could take Uber. What's the other one that they got? Uber
and Lyft.
Lyft. They even got scooters. I think they just shut the scooters down for the winter. But they got, you know, you can jump on a scooter, put an app on your phone. You got all kinds of ways to get around Chicago now. So I was like, yo, man, gas prices are ridiculous. I'm working downtown. I've been working downtown. Let me go ahead and get up a little bit earlier and catch this train. You know, I'm able to sleep on there. Or me personally, I was doing a lot of editing for the show, trying to come up with ideas and stuff like that. It gives me time. I'm not sitting in traffic, driving, tied up. You know what I mean? Mad.
Wisely,
So, but man, and I want to get into something after this with you, and I think you'd be interested to get into this next conversation after this, because this is going to lead to that. But what I found is that the public transportation in Chicago that changed, like you said, was wrong with these young cats. So it used to be, and if you live around the area, you see. So the red line is probably like the main line that runs from You know, it'll run all the way through the city, straight north south through the city. People take the red line to get the Cubs games. People take the red line to get the Sox games. Well, everybody that take the red line, you know, it's almost like it's a cutoff. You know, you used to see a different demographic past 22nd Street. You know what I mean? It's sad, but it was a little bit more dangerous if you was heading south past 22nd. North of 22nd, you're going to Cubs games, you know, you safe. You know what I'm saying? Cermak, Chinatown. If you're taking it past Chinatown, if you're taking it south of Chinatown, just, you know, be ready, be safe. You know, you seen, it's sad to say that, but you've seen a different type of people. You might get jacked. You know what I mean? North, you was good. Not no more. It is fully changed. So I mean, and I grew up in Indiana, from Indiana. I'm not a small dude, you know what I mean? So like for the most part, I think most people would look at me, and it's other people that you might think about robbing before you rob me. You know what I mean? Just because people look at that, especially men. Men look at that. They might size you up. You know what I mean? A smaller woman, yeah, I can take advantage of her. She ain't gonna do nothing to me. You know, this dude might cause some problems. He might be able to fight me back. And so I noticed that like it's changed. It ain't just past 22nd no more. And I was a little shook. I remember one morning this cat walked up to me, and one thing is, number one, you get to the border, you leave your guns at home. Ain't no guns really in Chicago like that. Indiana, like I said, is open carry, so I can't just be carrying my pistol around in Chicago. Got to leave that at home. Number two is, you know, weed is legalized. So one of the things that I noticed was that people was just like, once it got legalized, now I don't know all the laws with it. I had Dre on my show a little bit ago, and he kind of explained about some of the things with marijuana in Chicago, some of the laws, but like people just be out smoking, like, cause it ain't nobody really trying to stop you. There's not too many repercussions. They smoking on the train, like not vaping. They smoking weed on the train. People are just a little bit looser. And if you say something to them, you know, some of them might get an attitude. They might want to hit you. I saw things this past summer that I didn't see before. I saw a lot of mental illness, a lot more. I don't know why. I don't even know what to attribute it to. If you watching right now, check in, man. Maybe y'all know something I don't know, but I saw a lot of more mentally ill homeless people, and they was wreaking havoc, you know, on the it was one cat that was like he'd be like, "Hey, yo, get the gun." Look, I'm happy that my boy told me about him before I started riding the train. He told me he was riding the red line. He's like, "Hey man, it's this cat that stand on the platform," and he'd scream out, "Oh, go get the gun." And he said, and then he'll put his hand in the air and start making sounds like he's shooting, like he's mentally ill. But like, so initially when I hear "go get the gun," look, I'm not sticking around to find out whether he's mentally ill or not. So I'm glad nobody else ran. I probably would have been the one to start running, and they would have been looking at me like, "Look at this punk. Hey, look, I'm not sticking around. I'll live. You could tell me that another day."
It kind of reminds me of you know, this kind of same scenario in New York. You know, it was just during COVID, a little after COVID, like the subway, like people were being attacked on the subway. It was like a Asian community were being targeted, you know, and it would seem like they were always Black, you know, and it's something to that. Like whatever's up is down, like whatever's down is up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, someone mentioned in the comments on the subject of violence, you know, do you think the trend will rise or subside going into the winter? I don't think it's going anywhere.
Murders always go down Chicago in the winter, though. You ever notice that? I mean, it's
too
sad.
cold to be acting a fool.
Yeah, right. It's too. Yeah,
it's too cold.
Yeah, it's like when it get hot outside, you know, people they walk out their door and they just get the bucket. Everybody, you had some ops last summer. I had to take a break in the winter, and now I gotta go get the ops because it's summertime again.
I don't know. They robbing people and setting people up. Like
it's
I think
that's
that's
Chicago be robbing folks.
That's the new. I feel like that's the new thing now. Is just setting people up. I think about the young lady who lost her life in Mexico when her
God, oh
friend,
my God.
Yo,
Yo,
orchestrated this trip just for her demise. Like, is that what we come to? Like,
right? And are they even saying that this is what is this? Are they going with that story? I mean, look, we all know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But
we
like,
all know what happened.
we know what happened. Her
Her
dad, I just
injuries,
saw a thing of her dad this morning. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
her injuries, it just, why can't they, like, why is it that there's no, okay, so we hear from the mom, we hear from the dad, we hear from the funeral, but like, where are these people that did this? Like,
Yeah.
where are they? And how
Sure.
come, you know what I'm saying? We haven't heard no arrests been made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the holdup? Like, what's the issue? I feel like if she was a different race, I don't think that it would have been this long. I just, honest opinion, but we'll see. Justice, for Kayla, Consuela,
No doubt.
Just for her and her family. We just send out, peace and love and strength to their families.
Yeah. Her dad was just talking about how she wasn't a fighter.
Yes.
He's like, my baby wouldn't be out there fighting like that. Sometimes us as parents, we don't always know our kids like that, but she wasn't a child either. He knew who she was.
Yeah.
And he say she wasn't a fighter. She wasn't a fighter like that. Somebody, for her to be fighting, somebody provoked her. And she was naked.
Yeah.
She was naked. She fighting. What happened?
So what's going around now is that she was invited by these group of friends who she's known from college.
Mm-hmm.
College friends. One of her best friends, which was a guy, and the mom was like, he was her best friend. He invited her places. They invited him to their family functions and their family vacations and things like that. Like, he was really close to the family. And so she says that, I don't understand how he could leave her there.
Yeah.
And like, so when you constantly hear stories like that, and then these people who are her friends, if they're really her friends, they're not speaking about this situation. Like, you haven't heard any interviews from the people who are involved, but they're supposed to be her friend. Like, why haven't you come? If she really, you guys spread this rumor that she died of alcohol poisoning, but there was no alcohol in her body. How come you guys are hiding?
Yeah.
Why are you hiding? Come out. Because think about it. If you didn't do anything wrong, why would you hide?
They came home and lawyered up once they realized that how fishy it was. Yeah.
There was one reporter. He was knocking on the doors of the people that were a part, of this. Situation. So I don't know what we can or cannot say, here on YouTube, but I mean, this is what we're doing in 2022. Like, she's 25 years old. She was a successful entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
She had her own, she braided children's hair. She was very well known and well liked.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna take this baby, because of what?
Yeah.
Because y'all don't like her because she's shining?
Right.
Like, is that what we doing to people now?
Right.
We don't like them. They not falling for the okie doke, but then you just gonna take their life.
When I was telling that story, I said that I was going to open up a conversation for you that I think you might have some thoughts on it. And I had a theory, what I saw, you know what I mean? I'm just one person. This is my view and opinion. We vibing here on the Vibes. And my view of what was going down. Were you working during the pandemic? During the movement?
Yes.
Y'all, Chicago was the epicenter of the movement. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we seen people out. I was going to work, and I rode right into the middle of a demonstration. Let's call it
a protest. I had never seen a protest. That close ever in my entire life. It was like
a movement. Yeah, a movement. And I very much so believe in the movement. My theory is this, because what I did see was in the middle of the movement was there was violence. I mean, there was people what I rode in the middle of was I rode up on the block and I seen I'm telling you what I seen. This ain't my opinion. This is what I saw. I rode past CPD. It was right here on this block. They was kind of around the corner. I was on State Street. Rolled up, and you know, mask was the thing. But these young cats, they took it from mask to full ski mask. This wasn't no medical mask, full ski mask. So I seen a lot of cats in ski masks, and they looked at me like, you better get up out of here, G. Like you don't really want to be here. I was like, okay. I know. Hey, I could read the spirit. I took the first right, took another right, and I was like, yo, hey boss man, I won't be coming in today. Just like straight up. I'll rather live to work another day. But what I saw was this. I think some of these younger kids, they watched our parents' generation, and they watched the movement. You know what I mean? The movement, Malcolm X, and the beautiful movement. It was a beautiful movement. And then they watched all of those people. I mean, right there in the city of Chicago, they watched, they know about Fred Hammond getting shot in his own bed. You know what I mean? All of these people were peaceful people. They wasn't Malcolm X, even though they say Malcolm X was militant. He wasn't militant like that. He wasn't. What did I mean, y'all? People say Malcolm X was militant. I even remember reading in a history book that Malcolm X was militant. But who did he kill? Like, you know, militants kill people. Who did he kill? Because he said that he was going to fight back. And so I think what this younger generation saw was, shoot, y'all tried to sit down at the table, and they were unwilling, and all of your heroes is dead. And so now you got our generation who was just kind of living on those coattails. We wasn't doing too much. We had a couple of people within a movement, but they saw that to a certain, especially Chicago, to a certain extent. Cabrini Green was still around. What did that movement do for us? So what did this younger generation say? I don't care about nobody. I don't care about nobody. I don't care if you look like me, if you don't look like me. Because honestly, what we had was, you had a you look at Cabrini Green, you look at the projects, you look at the ghetto. It was more so, like most violence is, it was directed towards people that look like you. And my guy Dre had a whole theory on that. He said it was the self-harm theory. Of course, you're going to it's the self-harm theory, where why do people self-harm? Because it's certain things they don't like, and they feel powerless to change them, so they hurt themselves instead. So you see people that live around you and look like you, and you hurt them instead. You would rather kill them than to go outside and take care of the problem. You feel powerless against taking care of the problem. Well, then I think with this movement, a lot of them saw, you know what? I'm not doing what they did no more. We don't want to sit down. I'm sick of protesting. Y'all tried that already. So I'm for me. I'm going to tear up, and I'm going to rob, and I'm going to do whatever I got to do. So like I said, I seen a different dynamic moving towards the downtown area. Whereas we used to keep it back here. You know, we just kept it in our neighborhood. We was just doing it to each other. Yo, no lie. I rode out of the parking garage at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. And I looked to my left, and it was a cop car, and he had somebody pulled over. This is on State Street. Okay. This is State Street. This is, matter of fact, it's State and I think it's State and Chicago. The Archdiocese of Chicago is there. It's the main Catholic church is right here on State and this, I forget the name of the street. Somebody, if you know the street, chime in, but it's right there. So this is the main of the main. Whenever they do any type of interviews, the news with the Catholic Church, they do it on these stairs. Very high profile people are in this area. So I look to my left before I turn onto State Street, off of this street, coming out of the parking garage. Nobody's coming. I take that right on the State Street. I saw that cop. He had somebody pulled over literally right there, 15 feet away. Mm-hmm. I turn to my right, and in the middle of State Street, I see this car rocking. Then I see this dude's feet come out. Like his feet is just like, and it looked like somebody was getting it in the middle of the station. I was like, yo, people wild out here. And then I see CPD. I look behind me, and he got his gun out, and he's running towards my car, pointing his gun. And he like, hey, mother. Yeah. And I'm looking like, oh my God. And then I looked back in front of me, and some older white man is getting carjacked in the middle of State Street, literally 20 feet away from the Archdiocese of Chicago. I was like, it's 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. It wasn't dark outside. It was dusk-ish. And he getting carjacked. And it was, I seen dreadlocks, you know, Chicago. All I saw was dreadlocks on little dude, and I saw the older white dude, and then I just look. It's a narrative in Chicago. Cop got out a gun. I don't know. You know, I'm not
So
saying.
basically, you stayed in the car.
Yeah, I looked. The light turned green. I didn't care if the light turned green or red. I was going. I think the light did turn green. Ask me, nobody was coming. I just put it like that. I took off. So I took off. Next thing I see is, Angela, it had to be about 30 police cars, unmarked, marked. They riding down the street like Grand Theft Auto, like GTA. They riding all over the street. I mean, they gone. And I was like, man, I don't even want to know what happened to Buddy. But I think that this younger generation, they saw our generation, they saw our parents' generation try to sit at the table, and they was like, we didn't get nothing out of that. We was still in the projects, we was still broke, we still had schools that wasn't worth nothing. We sick of living like this. So you ain't gonna do nothing for us. I'm for myself. I'm jacking anybody. I don't care if you look like me. Look, let me tell this one more story, and I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna let you. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm sitting in Bella Luna's, which is a renowned. Guy Fieri's been there. It's right next. It's on the same street. What is this street? It's 1 block south of Chicago Avenue. It's Chicago and State. I forget the name of the street, but Bella Luna sits right there. So we are 1 street over now. It sits closer to, I believe that's LaSalle. That sits 1 block to the west of State Street. Still a busy street. We see cop cars. The owner, I used to talk to the owner all the time, who I want to get on my show because he got a crazy story. But I'm talking to him. He's like, what is going on? It's cop cars going this way, they going that way, they going east, they going west, and he looking like, what the heck is going on? So then next thing you know, we see a car rolling, like just speeding down the street. Then we see a cop car jump in front of him and stop him. 20 cop cars pull up behind them. They all get out with their guns drawn. Once again, we're in the middle of downtown. They get out with their guns drawn. They got my man. They got him eyed down. What I thought was my man. They got him drawn down. They yelling. They on the loudspeaker. Get out the car. And I'm ducking behind the bar because literally the way some of those cops have their guns drawn is facing us. And so out of the car, this girl had to be about 18. She couldn't have been older than 20. Couldn't have been older than 20. Angela with a baby in her arms. So like, I'm thinking that this had to be a part of the plan. Like, they ain't gonna shoot me if I got the baby. It went down peacefully. 2 female officers, everybody kind of put their guns away. A couple of them kept them drawn because they was about it. And the 2 female officers grabbed the baby, took the baby. They put her on the hood. They didn't rough her up because I think they saw there was a big crowd around at this point, and they arrested her. You know, but I was like, yo, this is wild, and this theory keeps playing out. Like, you used to not see this, not downtown. These cats, after that movement, they was like, man, y'all out here marching and protesting, and we still dying. So therefore, I'm gonna take your cars. I'm gonna rob you. I'm gonna kill you if I have to, because they shooting cops too. I think during this past year, they don't care no more. They watched the movement happen and they didn't see anything come out of it. What do you think?
I can't even begin to tell you like what's going through their minds. You know, you have to think about all the events that have just happened within the last few years. We had COVID in 2020, 2021, we still had COVID. Like, we're 2022, 2 years, and there's still COVID around. But, you know, a lot of them, if they're 17, 18, 20, like, they've seen a lot. Like there has not been in our generation, there has never been a worldwide pandemic. Like you know what I'm saying? I mean, world pandemic means
worldwide.
Worldwide,
Yeah.
excuse me. But no one has ever experienced that. Like, have they even talked to these children to see how they were able to cope with this? You know, like there's so many factors, right? The fact that we live in a society and a system that's built upon a certain race, our race demise. You know, it was built off of our ancestors. Our history was taken away from us, the true knowledge of our history. There's so many different factors, you know, and the point that it had been already said and pretty much put in place that this generation would be like zombies, just like half here, half not, half dead, half, you know what I'm saying? So it just, there's so much healing that needs to be done with, you know, and it's almost like, you know, will it ever be possible? I have a cousin who, she lives out in Barrington. So she lives, you know, very far from here.
Yeah, Barrington is a nice area.
It is a very nice area. She has a beautiful home in Barrington. And so she works at the school district, and she's like a helper, like a, you know, she goes into the classrooms, and those who need special help, like an extra help. She's that's what she does. My cousin says she just started working there this school year. She absolutely loves her job. She absolutely loves her job. She met a young man who he has to be about 8 or 9 years old, but they found him and his brother on the street at 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, like they were living just amongst themselves, digging through garbage cans, looking for food. At 3 years old, they found him. And so she was telling me she had just met him this past Friday, you know? And so she said that boy is so smart. He's autistic, right? But she said he is so smart. He'd been here before. He's been here before. He is like a grown person in a little person's body because of what he had to go through. Like, can you imagine finding some kids just, you know? And so I'm asking her all these questions because I'm so intrigued. You know, my cousin has such a beautiful heart and such a beautiful soul. She said after him one day meeting her on the first, he calls her mama.
Really?
Yes. And she says my coworkers, because she's the only, you know, melanated person that works in that school, in that position, position. She says like she gets like almost, they're looking at her upside down, like he's never done that to anybody. You know, and they put her in different classrooms so she can interact with the different students. She said, I want to know all of them. And this particular little boy, I'm just like, she said he knew my spirit. Like he gravitated to me. And all those other ladies that been there for years, because she just started working this job. She said they could not believe his attachment to her. And I was like, I want him. I want him. Like I just, you know, Christmas is coming up, you know, this is my first year celebrating.
Oh, we got to talk about. We almost we didn't talk.
Like my tree, like I did that.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, he finna get spoiled. He just don't know. You know, I was like, I'm asking like her all these questions, and she was like, I don't know. I just met him on Friday. She's like, but I'm gonna find out. She said he would not leave my side.
Really.
She said he is so smart. He was like, this is what my cousin said. She said that boy is so smart. He knows computers. He's good with computers. And so she said he know more than what the teacher know.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 8.
He's 8. Okay,
old.
I think 8
or 9. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to go shopping for him.
And
then my baby, she kind of looked at me like, but I can't wait to like spoil him. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah, that's like you said, he's seen a lot of these kids have. You know, Mo, man, shout out to you, Mo. I love Mo. That's my man that's coming, that's Mo B. He's on the Dope Living TV network. But Mo was just like, he said there's no one to really show them how to do this correctly because all of us have been through it. But we're able to, in our minds, I think this generation, in our minds, we're able to kind of work things out in our minds. Some of us, not everybody,
right? Not everybody.
But while we're working this out, what about the kids? It's nobody to help them because we still trying to separate in our mind what the heck happened. What's still kind of going on, but what the heck happened?
We're just not waking up, right? And most of us are not woke. Like we're not really aware of what's going on in the world. We're not paying attention to politics. We're not paying attention because we're so wrapped up in our own life. Going to work, we're not really opening our eyes. The whole thing with Kyrie Irving and Kanye West, like how many people are aware of what those situations of the underlining, core, what they're talking about. Like how many people are just like, what's going on? Like this is whatever this is, it's like affecting the whole world. Like everybody's talking about it. Like, let me, figure out what's going on here. Oh, he tweeted something. Hebrews to Negroes. Okay. Well, Hebrews to Negroes. Like, okay. So then so it's a movie. He retweeted a link, but look what they're doing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Behind just him, this one tweet, but everybody else could, Brett Favre can, steal money, and put it for a stadium, right?
Yeah.
So these other celebrities, and they don't get talked about, but they are, it's just like, are we paying attention as to why these things are happening?
Right.
Are you asking yourself, or are you just saying, oh, this is just the signs of the times? Like this is, yes, it really is. But I mean, would it hurt to know and be able to talk about it and be able to speak about it and then be able to teach or, be on the level with these young people, have something like relatable to talk about, that's not, it's not trendy culture, it's just really what's going on.
Angela, we scared. We scared about what we're going to find out. That's like you open Pandora's box. Here's the thing. The younger generation ain't scared because they out here living it. This is what we grew up in. We grew up in chaos. What is it going to get more chaotic if we find out why it's like this? And we grew up in, I think the most disturbing thing that happened while me and you were about the same age, most disturbing thing to us was 9/11. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Outside of that, black folks was getting shot by the police. It was here and there. Here and there.
Yes.
Somebody was shaking, was rocking the boat a little bit. Y'all, I just dropped the link in the comments. If you have something to say, you can come on. It's the vibes. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. Hit that link. We'll let you speak. But like I said, I think Angela, I say we. Look, I'm trying to gather a group behind me. I'm a little scared, Angela. I mean, who? Because everybody has this. Something that they kind of hold on to steady themselves. So to gain your balance a little bit. You got to hold on to something to gain your balance. And these kids out here, they was like, we ain't had nothing to gain our balance. We just out here, we floating. We floating drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
I mean, you have to think you didn't give them much to
any structure,
you didn't give them much to work with. I mean, some are gonna make it out, but for the majority, it's designed for them not to make it out. It's designed for them to be, in a state of mind that they're in. Like the things that were set in place, it's working. So, what do we do? Like, do we just leave it for the next generation to figure it out? Like, no, don't you have children?
Me.
So then you have to be, so it's like, no, you cannot just be idle and just let it pass you by. Like, educate yourself so that you can educate your children so they will be able to educate the next generation. It's about, the movement is about moving. Like actively doing things, actively educating yourself about what's going on out here, and then sharing it with your children. How many of us have had a conversation with our children about why are Black people at the lowest of the totem pole? Why are melanated people, looked down upon? Why all the way in the movies, in the media, melanated people always have it this way and have it that way? Like, have you really had that discussion with your child as to why the things are the way they are,
Mhm.
or is that something you just don't? They'll figure it out on their own. Like, are you leaving it
You
up?
saying me personally, or are you
No,
talking about in general?
I'm just speaking in
Oh,
general.
okay, in general. Okay,
Just
yeah.
putting
No,
it
I
out
feel
there.
yeah,
Just speaking in general.
yeah,
I
yeah,
try. It's like you want to protect your child. I think protecting your child is educating them and
mhm,
informing them.
yeah,
I love to tell my daughter, you are melanated,
yeah,
right? Okay, melanin is a mineral
mm,
that only Black people and brown people have.
mhm,
It's not had by every race, every nationality.
yeah,
Okay, and
yeah,
because of that, you when you step in the sun, it gives it power.
mm,
It ignites it.
mm,
Okay, so with those who get in the sun and they lack melanin, meaning that their bodies cannot produce it. It's just not in your DNA. It's not in your genetics. It is a mineral, but there is a certain group of people that they just do not have it. And when they step in the sun is poison.
yeah,
The sun is poison to them.
mm,
And so, um, you know, letting your children know that because of the color of your skin, you have a superpower. You have a superpower. It is what it is. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no, leaving it and not talking about it, discussing it. Like, you just need to know that this is what it is. It's not anything that you did. It's what you were born into, and it's the color of your skin is a superpower. It helps you to, it protects you against the sun, and it also is empowered by the sun. So, just knowing little things like that about your makeup, like what makes you you,
mhm,
right? Building that confidence,
yeah,
and that when you're told that as a child, what does that do to your self-esteem? If someone would have told me that as a child, I would have seen things a little different, I feel.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
if that had been told to me, that, man, my skin color is a power, like,
yeah,
yes, and it gets you know empowered by the sun. It gets
yeah,
elevated by the sun.
yeah,
Vitamin D.
yeah.
How many of us are lacking vitamin D in our lives?
Some of us ain't ready for this conversation.
Not.
I mean, that's very enlightening. Me and you have talked about that before. Uh, Funny that you brought that up. I was talking to somebody earlier about my experiences as far as being melanated. See, I said melanated, Angela.
Well, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you're superior. I just
Right,
want to put
right,
that
right.
out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just what's in your DNA.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because some people try to flip the narrative on you and try to say, well, they, like we're using this as a weapon, but you're not using it as a weapon. You talking on the things that you have found. But I was talking to them about the identity crisis that I went through, uh, being around a lot of people that didn't look like me.
Mhm.
And when you're around that, especially, in the 90s, the internet was fresh, you know what I'm saying? And so you had the news, and you had what you saw, and you had what people said,
Yep.
and so, like, and all of that, for people that look like me, it was all bad. You know what I mean? Like, you turn on the news, we done robbed somebody, or a house fire happened and everything and burnt up. It was just,
And you're constantly
it was,
defending yourself for
yeah.
what other people that look like you are doing.
Yes, yes, and it was, and on top of that, you got certain people say, like, almost not saying it, not using these exact words, but almost like, "What's wrong with y'all? Uh, what's wrong with y'all?" I got Mo B down here. I know you see him, and we could add him in here in a second. But yeah, I went through this identity crisis because I was constantly on the defense. Thank God I went to Purdue, and I saw something that changed the narrative for me. I saw, like, yo, man, it's a bunch of dope people that look like me, that are smart, that are thriving. You know what I mean? That some of them came from an area that wasn't thriving, but they thrive. They're strong.
Yep.
They're everything you told me that I wasn't. A lot of people, and it wasn't one person. When you get one person saying something, you get another person saying something, it's overwhelming. You know what I mean? It wasn't one person just saying everything. It's very much so overwhelming. And I kind of started to discover my identity. We act like, you talked about how smart that young man was. And it's sad that some people think because you come from an area like that, you can't be intelligent or you have nothing to offer.
Yep.
My life is what it is today because I realized everybody has something to offer. If you listen to folks living out on the street, I'm about to add Mo to this conversation. Thanks, Mo, for coming on, bro.
Hey, what's going on, family?
What's up? I realized that when you do this, I realize when you look at people, you miss so much in life. You can look at somebody that's homeless; they got something to offer you. It ain't money, but shoot, man, some homeless people got a heck of a story to tell. I listen to some homeless people in Chicago. Mo, what's up, man?
Man, this conversation need to been had a long time ago. I think we touched it 2 or 3 times when you first started your show, and it's about knowing our worth. We know our worth. Those that are taught their worth don't tell the others, "Hey, man, you're worth way more than what you're doing."
Yeah.
I just was fortunate to have those kind of parents and relatives.
Yeah,
made sure that I knew. I mean, I had cousins that lived in Cabrini Green that were part of the Black Panther movement, the early Black Panther movement that they made us understand what they were doing, not what the federal government was saying they were doing, but what they were actually doing in the neighborhood. And they would try to bring things up. And you can almost compare that to that Oklahoma massacre thing where they tore that whole thing up because of a big lie. They made sure that got spread out and people got killed, key people got killed, and make sure it didn't go no further. And like you said earlier, Lady E, what do you?
Angela, I'm sorry, I forgot
Angela, Angela.
Angela, you said it earlier, we just don't get a chance to. It seems like we start something and get it going, and our generation was one of those heavy duty generations that took that civil rights movement and made big strides, but we had leaders out there that was telling us what to do, what to strike, and then when to come together and act like you had some sense. See, they sit up here and they'll protest, but then it go buck wild after a while. You know what I'm saying? Instead of somebody coming together and saying, "Hey, we got what we want," or "We don't have what we want. This is one step. When we want, let's go to the next step." You know what I mean? It's some leaders out there that are doing that in some states with the movement, but it's not a lot of them.
That's what
you take the stuff that gets on TV.
Yeah.
There's certain ones that are making the moves, like making certain key moves, but it's almost like you have to go underrated because what happened to all of our heroes? What happened to all of our Malcolm X?
They usually end up being martyrs.
Yeah.
They end up being martyrs,
And that was my theory, that's saying that a lot of these young cats, man, they seen it happen. And they was like, I'm gonna get you before you get me. I'm gonna fight the police. I ain't afraid to shoot no cop. I'm not. Y'all talking about having sense, like you said, Mo. We were taught to move about and have some sense about it. And they was like, well, we see where sense got y'all, so I'm gonna be out in these streets high and drunk and not having no sense, and I'm killing everything moving because y'all way didn't work. That way don't work either. But but
they don't have no, they're hopeless. In order for you to step up, you got to step up. You know what I mean? In order for you to make that next move, you got to do something extraordinarily different. And if you're doing something extraordinarily different, you'll get those extraordinary rewards. You can't sit around in a cesspool and expect for it, smell good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to pull yourself up out of there,
And it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for, if you're scared, this is probably not the game that you want to play. But why are you scared? Why are you fearful? You have to think about what's to come and where your children, if you have children, what's going to happen to them. Then you're just going to have more scared, the generation of scared people is just going to continue.
Right.
If you don't change, if you're scared and you don't change, that part and understand, why am I fearful? What am I afraid of? And because then you'll never transfer that knowledge and education onto your children because you're scared. So then they'll just be scared, and then you know what I'm saying? It'll just continue on instead of putting an end to it.
Well, we had a conversation about the CRT here in Tennessee, critical race theory, and where we were trying to educate some folks on what really happened. And it's so unnerving to a lot of folks that don't want it to be taught that they tried to kill a whole daggone subject, in school. But it's something that's painful. It's got to be taught. You teach about the Jews, in the Holocaust. How come you can't teach the critical race thing about slavery?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How come you can't do the same thing about slavery and all the other atrocities that we've had in our history? So we've had them, and it seems like as soon as you start talking about blacks and slavery, we get the big blow back on it. It's really hard for them to understand what we've been through.
But the thing is so crazy because other nationalities get reparations, right?
They do.
They get payment, they get some type of laws put in place, to protect them if something was to happen to them. Everyone gets that except us. Have you ever asked yourself why? What is so bad about us getting on our feet? Like, how is it such a threat for us to get reparations for something that is widely known that our ancestors were the ones who built this country?
Think about Oklahoma. That's a big fear. Think about this. If the stuff that we have now, with the influence on the economy, styles and fashion, not just that, but music, not just that, but the inventions and things. We got brothers out here pulling water out of the air.
Yes,
okay. And those kind of inventions. Yeah. And those kind of inventions don't get on the late night news. The invention to get on the late night news, the latest gym shoe when it's coming out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We need to make sure those get there first. And if you're really scared, if you really think about the thing that they're scared about is that, wait a minute, hold on. We ain't giving them the boots to pull up their strings. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even give them the boots.
Nope.
So
they gotta make
if you gave us that
and
the strings, man.
Hey, Mo, shout out to you, man, with the vibes at it. It didn't make it past me. I see you.
I love it.
I see you. Represent Ava
the right
and
colors and everything.
Right. But no, man, this is a great conversation, man. It's almost like we need to have a part 2. I'm sorry. It needs
to be a 2-hour for real conversation because some people actually need that word. We don't have a lot of this conversation. We have the conversations after somebody gets shot. After there's a raid, after somebody get found with 20-30 pounds worth of whatever kind of recreational drugs, we get that all the time. And in Tennessee they trying to put this rider on the daggone deal talking about interracial marriage. Make it illegal.
Yeah, are you serious,
dude? Look it up. You think I'm BSing?
Wow,
look it up for real. Look it up. They tagged it on the LGBT thing.
Yeah.
So, and of course, it's not gonna fly because there's a lot of conservatives that have mixed babies.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna let that fly. No.
That's the whole nother.
But that's the whole thing to kill.
Why do they have mixed babies? Why do they have so many mixed babies?
Well, they put that on there. It's actually a tit for tat. So the LGBT community is not gonna get what they want because the crazy is not gonna get what they want with the mixed baby illegal. So it's kind of like they just doing this just cause.
Yeah.
So I mean,
hey, what's up, man?
I want to make mention too. Just speaking on going back to that being melanated and how it's a mineral, right, that we have because of our skin color. A lot of them are recognizing that they don't have it and they need it in their family line.
Well, the whole gene pool.
In order for it to continue.
Right.
I don't know a lot of people who have cancer. I may know maybe 1, 2, and they had cancer. But I believe that in their community, it's now the guys that I work with, they have multiple family members with cancer. It's almost like a badge of honor.
What?
And yes. And so
you opening up Pandora's box. And look,
you looking at my face and I'm going,
right.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah, Angie, bring out part 2. Angie, go ahead. What y'all got for next episode? We about to start wrapping it up. Mo, thank you so much, man. Man, no problem, Mo, you should have came in earlier, man. You was
man, I was sitting here and I was, doing some, work.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
you.
workplay is what I call it. You know, doing
Thank you,
some
man.
music and stuff, and I said, dang, and then the notice came up, and I said, let me check out Ryan. I had checked it out a couple of times, you know.
Yeah, and this ain't me. This is
I know, but when it came to views and opinions, I was
Right.
all right. Let me go check it out.
Thank you.
No, always support, man.
Right. Angela, what you got coming next?
Yes, so we want to talk about our next episode. Which is actually entitled "Why is the woke community the number one enemy of the state?" So please join us next week when we will have a discussion on that. And think about it. Think about it in your home. Like, why is the woke community being targeted?
Just for that.
That's
being
what's
woke.
up. That's what's up. So we got them, y'all. This is the VNO vibes. The VNO is not dead. Also coming, I am ready to do my next episode.
Okay.
I'm always looking, and we still I'm over here with the VNO ordinary people with extraordinary stories, and I'm looking for that next with extraordinary story, and I'm reaching out to people, and I got some people in mind. So the VNO is not dead. The VNO is a network, y'all. It is a whole. It's going to be a network. I heard about this. I had this idea. Mo on Dope Living. On Dope Living Network, y'all are creating a network over there. We're underneath that network somewhat. You know what I mean? We kind of collab with the network. Yeah. And we are very much so creating something over here, man. I don't see a lot of this happening. We will have something that I think everybody's gonna like something with this network. Like me and Angela were talking earlier, maybe my show, the VNO, might not be your cup of tea. Maybe that's not what you're looking for. We're gonna have the VNO vibes over here. I didn't want to let the cat out the bag. I really didn't.
Well, put it back in there and close it up.
No, I'm not gonna close it up because I'm excited. We have another show coming at you. You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much, and sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing enough. But we got the VNO changing the narrative. It's a show, man. This show is gonna be so dope, y'all. It's just hear me out. I was talking about the VNO vibes before it came out. Here it is. You know what I mean? It's from thought to here. We are here now. The VNO vibes is here. Now I'm telling y'all that we got VNO changing the narrative coming out, man. I have some very, very dope individuals that decided that we came together. We're gonna put this show. I'm producing it. So every now and again, I'll be producing this show, man, and we're adding VNO changing the narrative to the network, and it's gonna be dope, man. If you don't like that, we're gonna be adding more. Look, it's the views and opinions. I'm always open. We're always open for new ideas of what do you want to see, what do you want to hear. You know what I mean?
You know, I can remember some shows back in the day, and what they did was they actually invited folks that was out there banging, you know. You know, out there banging. I mean, cats is out there banging and seeing what's in the crane, you know. Seeing what's in the cranium, you know. We could do is guess, because we're sitting up here saying, hey, man, this is stupid. You know,
right.
And that's a good part of our population right now. We're like, where the hell are these fellas coming from? And I think Angie she said something earlier that kind of made sense, you know. And to me, I'm seeing. I thought that was meant to cut the show off. My bad. That, you know, they don't see a lot of stuff that we see, and the stuff that they do see, they want it now. And, you know, ain't nobody helping them open up those doors. You got to remember, we were listening to our elders, and our elders told you could go be whatever the hell you wanted to be. Yeah, and you could do whatever the hell you wanted to, and we took it and ran with it. If my daddy used to say, if they don't open up the door for you, guess what? It's they lost. Deuces. And, you know, go to another door and kick another door open or something, you know. And you know, it's they lost. You know?
We about to wrap it up. I do, before I want to Hank asked the question. He said, what is the actual woke movement? Hank, check out, man. Check out, if you didn't see this whole episode, check this out. Check these ladies out next week. I won't be with them. These ladies are over the VNO and vibes, and check them out, man. Comment, you know, let them know your thoughts, man. Maybe you agree, maybe you might not agree with them. That's what the VNO is about, the views and opinions. You know, holler at them, man. I don't want to be fighting on here, but you know,
Yeah.
Leave your
yeah,
comments.
but
Like,
let's,
what do you
yeah.
think the woke community is? Let's
Yeah.
hear from what you think, because everyone's
Yeah.
going to have their own, you know,
View.
interpretation, or you know, what they think what it might be and what it is. So
Yeah.
let me hear from you. What do you
Yeah.
think it is? You know?
We will let you know. I think you guys are going to be dropping these at what time? I think we're going to be dropping you guys 7 o'clock again next Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, around 7 next Sunday. If anything changes, man, I'll post it on my Facebook page, and we'll put the bulletin out there. And each show, but we're gonna have different shows. We all won't be on Sunday anymore. You know what I mean? Because we can't all share Sunday, but we will. Somebody gonna be on
The
Sunday.
whole day ain't
But
bad.
yeah. But we will be running and rerunning some of these, and we making this thing happen, man. You say this is my dream, but this is my dream for everybody. You know, this is my dream for y'all too, for all of us to come out and drop something to enrich ourselves, not just as melanated people, but also as humans as a whole.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? As humans,
Exactly.
As a human race.
yeah, as a human race as a whole.
Yep.
So check them out, man. Yo, Moby, once again, man, thank you so much, bro, for coming through. I appreciate you. Just in case y'all did not know, VNO Productions is a thing. all of these are produced. VNO Productions is a company. If you need any production done, if you need any graphics done, hit us up, man.
Live. That's
Yeah,
live.
hit us up as a collective. Hit us up. We'll get it done for you. Email is on the backdrop. It's running through here. Hit me up on actually any platform if you need anything done, man. We'll see what we can do. But we're all learning as we go, and we want to do it for you for a small cost.
Hey, don't, when you drop off, I want to show you something.
Okay. Y'all, thank you for checking us out once again. We have gone over time. Every time I get on the show, we always going over. This ain't their fault. This is my fault, because Angela and Ava was doing a great job before Ron came on here, and now we are 12 minutes over. With that being said, VNO.
Peace.
What you heard was nothing but the vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Feels like only yesterday.